people's biggest complaint was they would use Dickel in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think 11 was back to being no Dickel, all Kentucky.
Oh, I didn't know they were putting a Dickel in there.
So
I'll never miss a chance to say that. Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 189 of The Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We are your hosts, Stephen, Kenny, and Anthony. What's up, Kenny?
what up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing really I'm doing well. And you already got me laughing. I'm delighted that tonight we are joined by our good friend who I probably mentioned on this podcast more than anybody else, Jason Hale from Arsenic Culture.
Very honored. Thank you. Thank you, sirs.
All right. So wonderful to have you here, man. And it's been a while since I've been on your all's YouTube podcast. What's up with that? Did I get banned?
No comment. I plead the fifth.
Lowest listens of any episode.
We got negative listens on that one.
So
The last time I was on, I looked
it's nothing personal.
24 hours later, and it had 5 views, and I was one of them.
And your mom was.
And my
your
mom
dad
was the other one. Jason was one. I know you didn't watch, did you?
I did watch one with you on there. One of the ones with you on there, I did.
No.
Been on a few times, yeah.
Yeah, I've been on, and I've been so honored to be part of your show, and we're always happy to have you here to be part of ours.
Thank you.
But talk about what you've been up to, man. I know that, so Arsenic Culture, that's Arsenic. You guys did a rebrand now,
We
right?
actually changed the name, so it's Arsenic, ARSENIC, like the poison.
Oh.
Arsenic Culture.
Nice.
Rebranded everything except Facebook. I can't seem to figure out how to change our name on Facebook. It won't let me.
Mark Zuckerberg is really
He's
interested
not like
in
me.
keeping that the same way.
I will have Canarthur Millicent reach out to you about that one.
I've heard of that guy. I've heard of him.
Him and Kenneth Mills with a Z.
That guy is everywhere.
They can help you out.
I can't get away from that guy. I don't know where he's always got weird stuff going on, but that's cool. So you guys have, it's for our listening audience that doesn't know, it's primarily a YouTube show. So you have video, unlike us, but then you also release regularly on podcast, which is nice because I kind of go back and forth. I probably have a 50-50 split. Probably doesn't help you
Same.
guys out.
No. Same here.
But yeah, I'm always watching stuff, so that's cool.
So, I mean, our show's a little different.
Yeah.
We kind of review, it could be bourbon, could be beer, could be grappa. I think it's one of our latest episodes.
Grappa was your most recent one, wasn't
Grappa,
it?
not crappa. Is that what you
Grappa, because we had to talk about that. Actually,
true.
one time we were
That's
talking about
true.
Starlight. They make grappa at Starlight, and I was like, "What the heck is that?"
So we're cutting up a little bit, telling you a little history, telling you some stories. But what have I been into? Not much, except for I got to go on one of my favorite barrel picks ever at Four Roses. Thanks to Kenny for inviting me on there.
Actually, thanks to Anthony.
Thanks for Anthony for
And
not
his work
going.
schedule.
Thanks for
He
Anthony
couldn't
for not
go.
going.
Oh my god, that breaks my heart, but I'm so happy for you. Man, I really wanted to be there.
Next
I'm
time,
not
let
gonna
me know
lie.
when the pick is, and I'll slip something in his drink. We'll make sure he's a little sick,
Well, that's what happened with Andrew. No, I'm sorry. Andrew didn't get sick. Shan got sick. Shan got sick, and Andrew had some family stuff come up. So we had a few spots open up, and I was able to throw some extra people in there. It was fun.
Well, I was very excited and had a great time. So
Well, you guys aren't going to get off the hook that easy. Since I wasn't there and I was pestering both of you on text message, sometimes separately because I wasn't sure who was actually looking at their phone. So I'd message Kenny, be like, what did you guys end up with? And I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, hey, Jason, what did you guys end up with? Then he tells me. Then Kenny's like, 5 minutes later, I don't even know what we got, man. I think that's what you said to me. You said, I don't even know what we
Well,
got.
I didn't want to break your heart, man.
So-
they actually screwed up, and they brought us a 16-year OBSK out as part of the barrels. So they did not want to break your heart.
Did they really do that or not?
Yeah.
16 freaking years, dude.
So wait a minute. Okay.
Insane.
Okay. Start from the top here. I got to hear what happened here. So go ahead. Not saying like, okay, we drove
gonna
up
let Kenny
there.
tell it.
We walked in, but yeah, go ahead. I want to hear more
Yeah,
about
so
this.
we walked in, and there were 9 barrels laid out instead of 10.
Okay.
And I was like, there's only 9. And then Mandy was like, well, the group before you all, that's the one they picked, so we got to roll one out. And the dude in the back that rolled the barrel out, he actually just screwed up. He grabbed the wrong one. We didn't know it till the end. The freaking 16-year OBSK he grabbed accidentally.
Are you serious?
No, not at all.
He was buying it. He was bought in.
He was bought in from the second row.
That was totally like. I mean, that seems
I
like a
know.
pretty innocent mistake to make.
No, but it was.
I hate you, God. And
No,
the fact
so,
that Jason just sat there straight faced the whole time too. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Teaming up on me now. Yeah, I got it.
It was fun. So Hector went, Mosick went, Jordan went. So it was cool putting together a little squad, man.
Right.
Alan and BK brought
Kyle. Yep. Message with Kyle. He's a good dude.
And then then it was me Mosick, Jordan, Hector, and Jason. So it was a good little crew, man. It was fun.
Great time.
Did you guys joke and throw things at each other while you were tasting? None of that?
Very serious. Very serious.
Okay.
I think Mosick and Kenny might have, but other than that, no.
No, I was telling everybody, just make sure to talk about your tasting notes. Mosick loves to hear that stuff. I was just going through it.
I know that the astute listener will know the last time we talked about the Four Roses pick, which I was incredibly honored to be on. That is something that I did. I upset Mosick because I started table talking, and he was like, "Will you quiet down over there?" And I was like, I just, me, I can't stop. So I just started smiling real big and laughing every time I take a sip of something. So I wasn't yielding to what he thought. But so was it unanimous? I mean, last time we had a fun.
I think so.
Did Kenny pick the barrel when you guys walked in? Like one of those deals?
I did not. I was like, I'm already 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm going to go 3 for 3.
Did you try that?
So I would rather be 2 for 2 than 2 for 3. So no.
Looking at the barrels when I walked in, it was between 6 and 9. We went with 6.
Yeah.
So I bet you would have.
But 8, 6, and 2 were the top 3.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And that's where I did. That's where I check mark all 3 8, 6, and 2s going to the finals, and they did. So it was really cool.
Nice.
But we ended up with a 10-year, 8-month.
I was trying to look for it. That seems right.
OBSO.
Very good.
10-year, 8-month OBSO.
BSO.
Yeah.
I will say all of them though. I mean, there wasn't an awful one, and all of them were really good. Maybe like 3 that you'd kind of rule out,
okay.
But 7 that I think everybody'd have been happy with.
Yeah.
Wow.
The one that I gave the most check marks to, like here's my number 1. Like before we blinded them all again, it actually was the oldest one. It was like an 11 and some change year OBSV.
Okay.
But once we did the blinds, it did not finish first then. I don't know if I just liked it better, which is why you blind though,
I feel like OBSV does tend to be some of the older barrel runs they have during the pick. Is that right or not?
That's what I've seen.
Yeah, because that's the most popular, I think, overall.
It's like the base one, base recipe, right?
Oh, yeah. ESV, I guess, is the most popular.
Yeah.
The actual lower rye one. But, yeah, OESV, OBSV, those typically are really good.
What about swag? Did they still give you like a nice swag?
What'd you get, bro?
So we got that little, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a little kit. You open it up, and it has 3 sample jars you can write on.
Oh, yeah.
What's the place?
That's the Agent Or.
Yes. Yeah. It's like the Four Roses single barrel selection, like, monogrammed.
Yeah. Right.
Very nice. Plus, we got an awesome, like, cork board kind of.
Like you take notes on the board, but it has like cork on it.
Oh, really?
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
I would have brought you one. But
I don't think they had that last time. They did have that Agent Or set, though, and I have actually used that a whole bunch. I've used it at least 3 times when we traveled, because you know how we travel on vacation, Kenny.
Well, yeah,
so I take it on vacation, and then I still have Andrew's in my garage. So if he doesn't claim that soon, Andrew, if you're listening, I'm going to keep it. And then I'll double my capacity to take my own samples with me.
Well, because of that, I had to bring up the David Jennings thing, and I told everybody about how you cost me $11 or $15 on eBay because the pen that you're supposed to set.
I thought I sent you money for. I sent you Venmo for that.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
But I told you not to. I told you it was fine.
But I did send you Venmo for it, so I didn't cost you anything.
I don't think so.
All right, we're gonna have to go back and look. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be really easy. It's gonna be really easy to figure out with our Venmo payments.
That's true.
As in, not easy. So,
well, not to be easy because there's nothing that low of a dollar amount.
That's true. If I did actually send it without tagging it onto something, it would be easy to find. That's true. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, I'm not going to be bashful when that pick comes out. I will be hoping to buy multiple bottles of it. Same. Just because I wasn't part of it doesn't mean anything. So
yeah, and I do want to say just once again, just like Mandy is just amazing. Like she is awesome.
Really,
she's one of the best, man. Really is.
Right. Well, we don't
get a great pick, a great experience, but
she gives us a little halftime in there. Kind of right when everybody was reaching a little palate fatigue and just walk us around, give us a little tour. So it was very nice.
Nice. They still have snacks and stuff in there too.
They did.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. Well, I was going to say we don't get much engagement through social media with like actual brands, and I noticed that when you posted that nice montage in Arsenic Culture, I reshared it to Instagram and Facebook, and they commented on your post and they commented on our Facebook post.
I saw it.
And so I was like, dang, Four Roses reaching out. I'm like, we've come a long way. That was really nice of them. And, of course, another person to thank, another group is, of course, Bluegrass Liquor Box, right? BK and Allen doing a great job up there in Georgetown. And the fact they're still, trusting Kenny at all or any of us to go there and pick anything is really nice. So we always appreciate them. And if you're up in Georgetown ever and you're around that area, either by Canewood or where's the other one, right off 75?
Yeah. And then he said the other day when we're doing the pick, they had at least maybe 3 of our original Four Roses at one store, maybe 5 or 6 at the other store.
Oh, so they're almost gone.
And I promise you want to get that. And it's not just because it's our pick. That whole entire QS88 Tier 6 OBSK run has been dynamite. Doesn't matter whose pick group it's been. Mm-hmm. But ours, honestly, I think is really, really good because I have tried it against some other ones. And then this particular OBSO coming out, I'm not just saying it because, that's the thing. I'll tell you straight up, I may be like 20% of Four Roses I taste.
Really?
I'm not the Four Roses nerd guru. I'm at like 30% at the most. And so this particular OBSO is so rich and just deep and just, man, it just,
So chocolatey and delicious.
Oh, it's dark. It is a dark fruit bomb.
Dark fruit, okay. I was just joking.
It was good. Yeah. It was very good.
Well, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so down there too, I left a couple of our little cards that have our QR code on it.
Oh, nice.
That's the first time I'd seen those. It's very cool.
Hopefully we might get a few listeners. I left them for Mandy there, so I told her to make sure to share. Well, because kind of cool, maybe kind of, blush a little bit. She said that she does talk about on our pick, how they messed up my blind and didn't realize it, but I called it out blind.
Right.
She like brings it up all the time now at all of her picks.
She did.
That's
so I'm
awesome.
like, all right, so next time they'll say Kenny Mills with the mashup.
Kenny Mills
and
with the
here's a
mashup.
little QR
There you go.
code.
That's awesome. I've sprinkled those around town. I leave them all the time at Jackson's, and when I go in, they're always gone. So
yeah. Man, did we get any reviews tonight? You got something to share, Mr. Ant Dog?
Oh, absolutely. We are not short of reviews. And, of course, if you leave us a review, we'll always give you a shout-out. So this one was actually left for us by Pat on Spotify. So we talked about how Nick broke the code on Spotify and figured out how you could leave comments. So on I think it was our Hang episode that we had with all of us, the most recent one with Mossick, he left a comment there and said, great episode. I love the variety of blind reviews and the banter between the boys. Keep it up, fellas. And, of course, I'm pretty sure he's left us a 5-star review as well because you can leave a 5-star review, but you can't actually leave it with the comment.
With the comment.
Yeah, but, Pat, we really appreciate that. And we are catching up. I think we got about 5 or 6 reviews left to get through. So keep them coming. If you want to get a shout out on our podcast, just leave us a review on Spotify, send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, Zuckerberg, whatever, and we will give you a shout out next time we record. All right, so gentlemen, we got a new bottle tonight to review. It's actually pretty brand new. So tonight we're doing the Bardstown Bourbon Discovery Series number 12. I can't believe they're already up to number 12. This, of course, comes to us from the Bardstown Bourbon Company in Bardstown. Go figure. The bottle date is 2024. The ABV is 57.6. The proof is 115.2. The mash bill and age, I'm just going to kind of do this together because it's kind of a mess, right? So those of you guys who are familiar with Bardstown Discovery, it's usually a blend of a lot of different products. So this particular one, Disco 12, has a 48% of the blend is Kentucky 14-year-old bourbon. That's a mash bill of 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. Then it's 29% of Kentucky 10-year bourbon, 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. And then 15% 10-year Kentucky bourbon, 78% corn, 13% rye, 9% malted barley. And then the last 8% here is Bardstown Bourbon Company's own 6-year distillate. It is a 4-grain, 60% corn, 26% wheat, 10% rye, and 4% malted barley. Write me a freaking book. There we go. And the MSRP on this guy is $140. And we got this sample for this review from Mr. John Lair.
Michigan boy.
Yeah. And so we mentioned him a while back. Actually, what was that? Just 2 episodes ago, I think. Yeah. And he was in town with his buddy Keegan, and Kenny had them over for a little bottle share, and they brought some great bottles over. I mean, I didn't really elaborate when we mentioned it the first time, but I think they brought, a King Kentucky? What else they bring? They opened some good bottles when they were here.
They had a Hidden Barn batch 1 and 2. Then he,
There we go.
He did.
He did not.
They had what?
Did he really have Hidden Barn?
Did you not taste them?
Was I not here for
Batch
that?
2 is way better than batch 1.
Were they the ones
Okay.
that brought the fresh bourbon?
No, that was Anthony brought that.
Okay.
Brought that over here.
Just making sure.
But yeah, they had
I must have not got here in
they
time
had
for that.
barrel aged Malort. They had all kinds of good
That's
stuff.
good. It's rare.
So, nah.
And he, oh well.
Nah, and
No,
they also so there was not a cork pop tonight and all that because we did get a sample bottle of that. But he also sent in their Mayor Pingree pick, the 7-year single barrel they did.
Oh, nice.
Darsh was on that pick with John and them. So
Sweet.
we have a sample of that to try later tonight as well.
Well, that's good. No, and I'm happy that when we have samples, because that way we don't have to spend $140 on this bottle. We'll get a chance to give you our most objective opinion, right? Because even when you spend $140 on a bottle, you still have some kind of attachment trying to exexplain why it's good.
Oh, yeah.
When you're
vested.
You're vested in it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I'm trying to see this in any way, shape, or form that I can. Like, spending $200 and some on Old Stubborn and trying to figure out and justify why you might like that. But
So question for you on this one. So
Yeah.
I've not had a lot of the Disco series. Is this the first one they've used their own distillate as part of it? Or do they usually blend some in?
They usually have some of their own and some older ones I've had.
I was gonna
They've
say,
seen some stuff too.
do you know what their
hang on,
oldest-
I say that. This is a facts optional podcast.
Of course.
I am like 90% sure they've used their own stuff in a few other ones.
Okay. Is that about how old they are? About
I guess I shouldn't like really speak to that without.
no, I think
But
they
I thought they have.
No, I think they have. But the problem I always have, and I'm just owning this 100%. When Bardstown hit, I liked the concept. I liked everything about it. But guess how many bottles that I went out and actually bought off the shelf?
Same as me, probably 0.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. As we sit here tonight, I have never bought a bottle of Bardstown Bourbon
I
Company.
haven't either.
At all.
And I like it.
I don't. Yeah, and I don't. That's the thing. I didn't intend not to do that. I think I've
Yeah.
only tried it 3 times. It just got a little confusing to me, and then I also was trying to like figure out all the different places that they're using them as a source and stuff like that.
Trying to match the mash bill to what distillery. I was doing that too.
So even though I had people going like, "There's amazing stuff coming out of Bardstown," I have no knowledge.
And part of that, so they have a ton of mash bills. Like I've done a couple tours there, and I forgot what they talked about. Like all this contract distilling they do basically pays for like so much of their operations that they basically just have house money to play on.
I mean, they're essentially
So
MGP
they do
of
so
Kentucky.
much
Yeah.
stuff. So there's a
Good
lot
way
of
of
times
putting it.
too where you'll see like a 95.5 on XYZ group. Think, oh, that's MGP. No, it's actually Bardstown's 95.5.
Yep.
Or they'll have a mash bill that's just like Heaven Hill's mash bill. So you might see something where it's a 6-year, 7-year, and the mash bill looks like it's Heaven Hills. Well, it's actually their 6-year, 7-year as well.
Right.
So they're doing some good things. I think that's really awesome what they're doing. Like they are really solidified themselves for the future because they actually make some pretty good stuff too.
For sure. And they bought Green River, we were talking earlier
yeah.
too, so they're expanded that way.
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine the capacity now having both of those places?
Because Green River, they were sourcing, people were sourcing them a lot too.
Right,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
But for me, so when I first got into bourbon, I bought a Fusion and
never
a
seen those.
Discovery, like whatever the first ones were.
Right.
Knew nothing about it. Tasted them, and I was like, holy crap, why'd I spend this much money? It was not very good at all.
Okay.
So I literally wrote them off and was done. Then fast forward, Disco 4 comes out, and it was one of the better bourbons that year.
Really?
That's that one that we had in Blinds, I think Alves brought over, or Jordan brought over, or something maybe, I don't know.
I think I remember that, yeah.
But the Disco 4 was actually really good. And they go back and forth. It is legitimately just off of taste, man. Like, they don't, like, they'll have Dickel in there, or they'll have different stuff in there, and they don't really care. That's
Got
all
excited
about,
when you said Dickel. Sorry.
If you can make Dickel taste good, for the
Then,
most
yeah,
part,
you
you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, my palate, I'm just not a big fan of that, what I've had. But
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Not trying to hate on Dickel, but you know.
it's okay. It's a common theme.
Yeah, I think it'd be more of a hot take if I didn't. So.
Right.
Right. No, I agree with it, man.
What did Jason say? He said he liked George Dickel.
Well, I've got an Old Carter batch 12 maybe of straight bourbon that's Dickel that's actually really good. And then I've got a Western, that little round ball looking stuff.
Right.
That's a 10-year that's Dickel that's good. And
Western
that's-
Reserve, I think. It is.
Yeah, and that's really
I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
that's really about the extent of what I've had that I really like that is Dickel.
I remember trying like a 17-year they had in a store in like Tennessee
Yeah.
several years back, and I'm like, this is all not good at all.
Yeah.
to Tennessee.
Oh,
Tennessee.
Obviously some of the best Dickel is their experimental rye with these TKOs, but that's not their own stuff they put out, They made it, but there's just experimental only.
Sorry, I got you way off track. Apologize.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
That's what you're here for, to get us off track.
I can do that. I'm very good skilled at that, actually.
But I went to Michigan to do the Bourbon in the Barn thing with Alves and the Junkies and all that. Their head blender, master distiller guy, he walked us through a whole tasting thing. So we had all like different, like cocoa and green tea bags, and had this fruit and this candy, and went through a whole tasting thing.
Dried nuts, fruit too, I suppose.
And he's legit.
You're just trying to pick those flavors out, I guess. Like
mad scientist, legit. Yeah. So that's why you'll have. Why I put a 6-year 4-grain in there.
Correct.
Well, there's something in that really made it just complete it. Like it literally rounded it out somehow. He is legit, dude.
I would love to have a blending experience and see how they do it, because my mind just can't understand it, to be honest with you. I know there's percentages, but I'd just love to see how they do it in real time.
Yeah.
And I've tried my hand a couple times at blending, and one of those times was last.
Put your hand in the blender? Is that what you're saying? That's probably not a good idea, Anthony. That's probably not a good idea.
And one was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had a hangover here. I brought it over, and nobody liked it. So it's fine.
I've done the poor man's pappy back in the day, the Weller 12 and OWA.
Did it work or not?
It tasted fine.
It's poor man's pappy, so you never know what regular pappy tastes like. Anyway, there you go. But I'm going to say something real quick. Usually we talk about the bottle, even though we don't have one in front of us. I think the bottle might be the reason that I wasn't drawn to it. It's a very plain looking bottle.
All look the same, right?
All look the same. They're differentiated by color, what's on the side, but they're 100% transparent. So I'm not going to give them anything bad about that. But I'm not sure which part of the series it is. I think it's the collaborative series when they actually put like the logo of like founders on there, because they collaborated with founders.
Goose Island too.
Goose Island.
Mark Carter.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he collaborated too. That's right. Yeah, so those are the ones that draw the most attention.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, for me.
They also raise that price when they get that collab too.
I know they do. Wasn't there one that had wine, like Prisoner wine too? Or am I thinking of
I think you
High
might
West?
be right, but I know that
the
Goose
Prisoner.
Island.
Yeah, the Prisoner.
Yeah.
That Goose Island one I really wanted to try. I got to try it at This Is My Bourbon podcast, their little thing they had in town.
Yeah, we did try that. That's where I tried the most. What'd you think of it?
I'm glad I didn't buy a bottle.
Okay.
Because it's like $200 for that one.
That's right. There you go.
But I'm glad to try it, right? Because I never would have tried it otherwise.
There you go. And that's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm talking 3 times that I've tried it sitting around this setting. We got to pour it up over here. Yeah, 3 times tried it sitting around this setting, but
I like the Ferrand pretty good. The Ferrand or Ferrand.
I've seen that, but never had it.
I've heard about that.
I've got one open over there.
There you go. It's coming across. But yeah, now that we had when we went to Perry's My Bourbon Podcast Live, Bardstown was there with 4 samples, I think. And I think there was only one that I really liked. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I liked it so much, I can't remember.
I think I just tried that one. This one I really wanted to try, the Goose Island one.
Oh, I was trying everything. I was like, I'm going to have every sample that I can have in this place.
I got stuck at Dark Arts. I just kept going back to some of the stuff.
Yeah, Dark Arts had some really good stuff. You're right. So you want to be nosing some bourbons here?
Yeah.
Well, let's go in for a nose, fellas.
It smells like bourbon.
A little bit like whiskey, too.
It's a subtle nose for 115 proof. It's not like knocking the ethanol out, which is nice.
I don't know that I'm picking up a lot of like flavors from it. I don't know if I can pick out a specific one from the nose.
No, I think it's just got a really nice. If I pick up anything, I would say it's got almost like the baking spice, like a fullness to it, like a seasoned nature to the nose is what I'm picking up. So that's kind of where I'm at with that, like picking up more of the deep, rich spices that might be there, might not be there, which is interesting because this is mostly a corn whiskey, right? Sure. It's not like massively high in rye content, but it's got some nice character that you might find in a rye nose, at least a little bit, without the mintiness.
I mean, the nose is very approachable. 115 proof, like you said, it should be. I would think it'd be a little hotter, but know, a little more fusel alcohol kind of thing.
Right.
What did you notice though when you're reading off the mash bills?
What's that?
48% of it was 14-year, 75, 13, 12.
Is that turkey?
That is turkey.
Damn.
Has to be, right?
No,
I was going to say.
This is confirmed.
Okay. Well, that's where that light cherry note's coming from, probably.
So for a lot of our listeners, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming to market. Some of it's 10, a lot of it's 15, 16, 14, 15-year-old that's claiming to be turkey that is actually not turkey.
Can we talk about that? Do you have enough knowledge to be or not? I don't want to start anything.
I unfortunately have too much knowledge.
Well, we can talk about them. We're facts optional. So
no,
we
we can't.
I definitely don't have any knowledge about it.
No, I'm saying I unfortunately have too much knowledge
Too
from
inside.
the standpoint of it's a little bit inside, so I unfortunately cannot say. But there's been a couple articles posted about it, so you can definitely search out those articles.
Okay.
And they'll talk about it. But this is legitimate turkey, was confirmed. This actually is turkey.
You know, I have a question. I'm sorry if I'm asking too many.
Yeah,
but,
please,
You
no.
know, 14-year turkey barrel, like that just makes me excited to hear that.
Right.
Why would they let that walk out? I know money talks, so probably they paid a lot for it, but or maybe they bought it at 8 years old. let
That's
it
the
age
thing. It
6.
might have.
Yeah.
Back when they first started going.
Because if I was them, I sure wouldn't let it walk.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of where, as this unfolds, we'll maybe know more.
Yeah, maybe off profile a little bit.
Yeah,
Could be.
it could be off profile. It could have a number of different things going on. But the one thing I'll say is, Kenny, once you said that, and we just poured it, so it came out of a sample bottle, and you're letting it open up a little bit. Now I'm starting to pick up a little bit more of the cherry notes, a little bit of the tea notes. So there's a little bit of a tea note there, maybe a black tea note. So you've influenced me a little bit by telling me that. But when I was writing it down earlier, I looked at it and said, "Is that a turkey? Is it 14-year turkey?" Yeah, because
So it's legitimately 14-year turkey.
there you go. Well, there it is. So
And this Disco 12, we had that night when John came down, and I forgot to get a sample then.
Right.
So luckily he did mail us a sample. So I do appreciate that. But I remember that night it was very good.
unfortunately or unfortunately, I don't remember anything. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was,
I just don't remember that pour.
That was a long
he
night.
did bring it, but I just don't remember it. So
yeah, we had a lot of stuff on the table.
yeah. Well, before we get to tasting this here, I just wanted to give our listeners a quick overview, I guess some quick highlights about Bardstown Bourbon Company in case people aren't familiar. First of all, guys, when we go out the Parkway, it's beautiful. It's picturesque. Every time I pass it, I'm always like, dang, they did a really nice job. It's like a campus, right? I mean,
is.
every distillery is a campus, but this one, because you can see everything because it's sitting on like a massive plot of land and it sits right off the highway. They got a first-class restaurant there. Mentioned I've had the food there one time when Blue Run had their event there, and it was outstanding. They've got, I can't tell you how much storage space they have. They're one of the largest distilleries in the United States. They didn't put their own bottles out till 2019, even though they founded in 2014. I think they finished construction on a distillery on 2016, maybe. So they're still relatively new. Jason, earlier you said MGP of Indiana. I mean, sorry,
Of Kentucky.
Said MGP of Kentucky. That's right. Earlier, and it's just, yeah, they're just doing a lot there. They're involved with like 30 brands that they help support. And you mentioned they bought Green River. So, I mean, Bardstown Bourbon Company is going to be around for a long time. And it's going to be very influential, I feel like, in the market, right? Especially as the market goes up and down.
I think very, man.
Yeah, like right now.
I think it's already there, especially like people getting newer into bourbon. I think
Right.
a lot of those people are supporting it, buying the product. So,
Absolutely. They even have a vintage tasting bar there on site, right?
oh really?
I'm
I've
pretty
not
sure.
I've
Don't
not
they
been
have a
on site.
tasting
So
bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what they do, they have the regular bar, then they have a vintage tasting bar that is, I don't know if it's always open to the public, so I think you have to have like a
Special
special
privileges, yeah.
privilege invite, certain time maybe or something. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, normally we don't go talking a lot about the brands because you guys know a lot about them. But with Bardstown, Jason, you just admitted you never even bought a bottle. I've never
No.
bought a bottle.
I
Kenny's
bought
bought very limited.
5 or 6 maybe.
5 or 6?
4 or 5.
Yeah, so it's not like we're talking about, one of the first bottles I bought when I moved to Kentucky, right? I bought a Weller's,
Yeah.
right? And I've known everything about Buffalo Trace ever since. But, yeah, so Bardstown's new, but definitely worth checking out. And
Food's amazing.
the food's amazing. Their master distiller is Steve Nally, and he's got a lot of years in the industry. So I think that also serves them well that they got that clout. They got a pretty big ownership group. They're influential in a lot of ways. Guys, like, can we taste this whiskey already?
that's what I'm sitting there thinking, man. a lot of talking.
Sorry.
Less talky, more drinking.
There you go.
So if you hadn't have told me it was turkey, would I have known? I don't know, but I know as soon as I try this one. I mean, I'm getting some of that. It's good for
Wow.
me. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and just spoil my review. That's bare. I didn't know what to expect, but
So here's the thing. This sip is full of that, like, citrus, cherry,
I get cherry.
like, and it's such a well-balanced sip.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Is this available?
It hasn't hit here. I don't think it's hit here yet.
I don't know.
So John came down with it, right?
Right.
And he just got his bottle up in Michigan, and I have not seen it anywhere in Kentucky. So I don't think it's hit most markets yet.
God, I hate to blow the
It's great.
I hate to blow the past drive by here.
Yeah, no
I mean,
joke.
that's literally the first sip, and I'm very often not wowed by a first sip of much,
Yeah.
but that's amazing. So I'm going to have another one and tell you more about it. But
tasty notes wise, I'm not going to have all the ones maybe you all do, but I would say definitely the cherry, the oak for that. And then I don't know that there's a whole lot more I would want from that pour. And what'd you say the price was on this one?
I think they're all like 150, right?
140. It's supposed to be
Yeah,
140
okay.
MSRP.
It's kind of a weird place in the market, though. Like, what else is 150? It's kind of like Booker's is what, 120?
Yeah.
Or is it more?
Regular
Booker's-
Booker's is like 100 to 110.
Okay.
Right.
Little Book's
Regular
probably
Little Book's 180.
80.
The one supposed to be 160
Okay.
probably, but yeah, 170, 180.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's this is good.
That slaps. I mean, even
Yeah.
the spice that I was picking up on the nose is so well balanced that like it's not abrasive. At the end of the sip, usually that spice comes in, it kind of kicks you a little bit. If do you have any criticisms of this? Like, what would be your criticism? Like, what about finish, things like that?
I don't. I think the finish is long. It coats my entire palate.
Right.
I think a lot of the things I've tried lately, I've been trying a lot more here, but it gets that mid palate and just kind of falls off, like it almost rolls off your tongue before
Right.
it gets to the back. This one I get the complete finish. It's still going right now. I mean, it's
Right. Wow.
It's good.
But I mean, it is 44%.
That 14-year-old.
No,
48.
48% 14-year-old, and then it's 44%. Two different ones, but a 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. So basically half turkey and half this high corn mat. I mean, this other 78, 10, 12.
Right.
And I wonder what that 78, 10, 12. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry.
There's two different ones.
78, 10, 12, then a 78, 13, 9. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe it was one of those Barton.
Yeah. I
Because Barton doesn't
should have been
disclose.
better prepared to
Yeah.
answer that question.
I don't know.
But,
Man, that's a really nice sip. Jeez.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, like it makes me wonder now what I've missed from Bardstown because I've been so kind of just like, oh, whatever. They're just out there. They're going to keep releasing stuff. But it's hard to believe that this is Discovery 12. I mean, does anybody know what the one before that people think is
11.
Like the
I
best?
think they liked 11.
11?
Quite a bit.
yeah, well, people tend to like the 11 pretty good. I think the 11 was back to, because people's biggest complaint was they would use Dickel in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think 11 was back to being no Dickel, all Kentucky.
Oh, I didn't know they were putting a Dickel in there.
So,
I'll never miss a chance to say that.
Put a Dickel in the Bardstown Bourbon Company. How do you abbreviate that, Kenny?
BB Co.
BB Co.
And, but there's stuff, I mean, like whenever we entered it into the blondes each year, it's just done okay. It's never done great.
Okay.
So that's why, I mean, I don't think you missed a lot based on the pricing point.
Okay.
In my opinion. But this
How do you think
definitely
this
tastes
will do in
different.
the blind?
We're going to find out this year, I'm sure. Hopefully
okay.
somebody
'Cause
submits
that's-
it. But I think this will be pretty
So
good.
I did a
I think
little
it will, too.
Google, and
Yeah.
it looks like Elijah Craig. So maybe a Heaven Hill 78, 10, 12. That's that
Oh.
29% one of
Okay.
the blend.
Yeah.
So it could be Heaven Hill.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I wonder what, like a high rye would they let them, sneak out of there too? I don't know.
Maybe.
Or high corn, or whatever it is. The high corn.
High corn.
Sorry.
Yeah, high corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's not bad. Yeah. The only thing for me is the, it's good. But if it were to be, to me, like probably stand out more in our double blinds or blondes we do, is if it had more of a oily or viscous mouthfeel. It's just a little bit watery on the mouthfeel still. For me,
I could see a
but
little
the
bit.
flavor's
Yeah, a
great.
little bit.
The flavor's
Yeah.
great though. It's not that dank. Because think about it, I've got some 13, 14-year-old Russell's picks over there, and man, they are buttery and oily and stuff like that. So if this just has a little bit more oily, buttery, viscous, but this is very good. I'm very
Right.
pleased with it.
One of the main things, okay, there's almost always some kind of off-putting note, and I can never describe it. I'm like, oh, this is metallic. This one's a little bit wall. This is a little bit brown bag. Something that slaps you on the back. This doesn't have any of that.
No.
Like
I don't
after
get
I'm
any
done
off
with it, I'm
flavor.
like, nope, just tastes great. Like everything that's there that's left over just tastes great. And
it drinks a little lower, I feel like, too, proof. I mean, which is a good thing. It probably drinks 100 to me, which is fine. It's really good.
We want things to drink lower that are higher proof. I mean, yeah, that's well, dang it! I wasn't going to spend more money on bourbon. That's what I always tell myself. But there you go. Oh, are you going to kind of confuse us here, Kenny? Is that what's going on?
Got a little pour here. You know me.
Oh, here we go. Got to get a clean glass, huh?
We'll have to add a little bit because I actually drank all the one I had.
I completely get why you did, because that was tasty. And we do tend to take small pours here, just in case the listening audience is wondering. I very rarely pour.
I'm not a lush, I promise.
Yeah. You know what's really funny? So have you ever listened to Bourbon Hunters?
Maybe on they have a YouTube channel?
No, they may have some YouTube. I'm not even sure. I know I listened to their podcast. But JD Fritches, who I message with, he's become a pretty good buddy to message with and stuff. And they have a really running joke because one time he took a George C. Stagg and poured himself like 3 ounces. So it's like, we're not pouring your George C. Stagg pours on here, JD. But yeah, no, they always talk about that, and I always have a good laugh about it because I've done that same thing many times. So. We're hopefully going to see those guys in December at their Bourbon Blitz. They're going to be
in Ohio. Is that where they're out of?
Yeah, they're out of Columbus. So yeah, they always give us a lot of love. So I like to make sure I mention them.
We getting any hints about this blind, or are we just going?
No, I'm just going to taste it and compare, contrast, pros, cons, what you like, don't like, compared to the one we just had.
It smells older, is what I would say.
Smells older, huh? Older like a sock. Or like a gym locker.
The brown bag.
Brown bag.
What the hell that
Seriously.
is?
No, I mean, you don't
I
get
think
stuff
I've
like
ever
that.
got that.
I've gotten stuff like that, or like the grassy notes and the moldy notes and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, some things are just hard for me to describe. You know what I mean? No. Like you were saying, you had a kind of a blind spot or looking for off flavor there.
Yeah. You know, Nathan Taylor gave me a Knows Your Bourbon kit, and I think the Knows Your Bourbon kit guy has been making the circuit on the podcast, so I need to pay most attention to that. But when I was nosing using those things that they sent, some of the things didn't line up for me, and I wonder if the kit was older, or if maybe my nose is messed up. But yeah, no, that's common. I mean, what I taste, you know, we heard from some listeners that tasted the Heaven Hill grain to glass stuff, and they said we were off on that because we did not like it at all, except for the rye. And you know, some people have said they really like it. So anyway, blinding. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
You're good. Is this one around the same proof?
I don't know, dog.
I can't get no damn hints. I see how it is.
Kenny will give nothing. He gives up nothing.
So I've already got my decision and flavor notes, I think. But I'm going to wait for Anthony and the host to go.
Oh, wow. That's tasty as well. Just a little, I think. Let me go back to the disco. There's more of a flavor pop with the blind, and it's a very intense flavor profile. But then the back end is a little bit like, it'll dry you up, a little bit spicy, a little bit, I won't call it bitter. It's just got some kind of fragrance to it. Like maybe it's floral. That's throwing me off a little bit. But I'm going back to this disco now.
Disco.
I love the fact that Kenny brings these blinds out so he has nothing to say except for listen to us talk about it because he already knows what they are.
I like to learn, you know.
Oh, well, going back and forth makes a big difference. I feel like that changed the flavor of the disco to me when I went back to it right then.
A little bit, but
I think I'm actually still getting some of the finish on that blind. Like it's a little.
The blind's got a long finish.
It's got some heat, you know, however you want to call it. It's got my tongue tingling in the back. That's kind of where it's at. I get the floral, like you were saying, a little bit on the main end of the finish, but I don't know if it's floral. Like it might just be a little bitter.
Right.
I know you said not bitterness, but I get the same thing.
Yeah. I was trying not to call it bitter because I don't think it is, but I'm going to take my last little sip of this here. This smacks to me, though. The blind smacks to me like it's really good whiskey. I just can't place it.
You definitely get it more up front and middle on that one, I feel like.
You think it's still turkey?
I don't know.
I'm confused by it, but I'm thinking it might be turkey.
I know when I'm going back and forth between the two of them, it's changing the flavors.
Ooh. Wow.
Did you just sip the blind?
I did. I haven't had that in a while. It's better than I remember.
Ooh.
The blind is better than I remember.
I don't mind to put my foot in my mouth, and I'll probably be wrong on this, but I think I'm liking that Disco 12 better.
You know what?
I'm probably going to be destroyed for that once I figure out what the hell this is.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm favoring the Disco too, but it could be because we drank it first, and I'm just liking the flavor profile better. And the blind, we did have maybe, a quarter an ounce of it to drink.
Well,
so I think the blind is probably some kind of like wickedly well aged turkey that
It's definitely older.
I'm underappreciating it right now. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, or maybe like a pick or something. But I'm kind of with you, man. Like I'm liking the Disco a lot. Like I've never fanboyed out this much over a bottle I knew nothing about. I
think for me the differences are the Disco. I could sit down and have 2 or 3 pours of that same thing,
Right.
And on the other pour, while I like it, I think I just want one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe I'd go back for a little bit more, but I think the other one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Kenny, you going to reveal now?
Yep.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
All right.
Can't wait to hear what
Ready
this
to be
is.
embarrassed here.
Ready to be embarrassed.
No, so talked, a little bit earlier, Dan Calloway
Right.
with Bardstown.
Yep.
He's just literally just mad scientist and just knows the stuff inside and out and just the stuff he pairs and puts together. So the blind is Disco 11.
Really?
And that was 73% 13 year,
Okay.
75, 13, 12. So turkey.
Ooh, okay.
21% 78, 13, 9, which is that's a mystery mash bill. Everyone says it's Jim Beam, so it should be Jim Beam mash bill.
Okay.
And then it was 6% of their own 6-year stuff. It was not a 4-grain. It was 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley, so no rye.
Okay.
So with this Disco 12, I think
Was it
adding
11 or 12? Would you say? Which one was it?
The blind.
the
Was
blind was Disco 11.
Yeah, he's talking about
I'm
12
saying with
now.
this Disco 12
Oh,
we
yeah.
had
Sorry. Yeah, my
Keep
bad.
up, Anthony.
Go ahead.
So when I tried the Disco 11, and I was first like, "Ooh," I said it's a lot better than I remember.
Right.
The front was awesome, but it kind of fell off to me.
Right.
Yeah, the
It
back
fell off.
drew my tongue like it's weird.
Dust
Yeah.
and a little dirt, a little earth, and fell off.
Yeah.
So you can see that he's basically took that Disco 11 and just took it to the next
Wow.
level by adding some extra components that really made it round out and make the finish go
Yeah,
longer.
for
And
sure.
yeah.
That's good.
What was the proof on that 11? Or do you have it there?
Yeah, it
I was
is
curious. This one's 115 to
yeah,
12, right?
115, yep.
118.
Okay.
So it's higher proof, and it
It drinks
like
hotter.
Yeah, it drinks hotter, yeah.
Gosh, I thought it was older, though. I mean, it really did.
Well, see, there you go. You thought that you were going to be
Yeah.
embarrassed, but instead you ended up saying that 12's really good.
Yes, about a 12.
But yeah, because the Disco 11 in last year's blinds just did so. Like I don't maybe what was it 20th, maybe 25th,
Yeah.
somewhere, I don't know.
Still pretty good.
It might even been 25th, 30th.
You got a lot of hype online. Some of the YouTube channels.
Just
I
where it's the
watch.
first one with all Kentucky, and I think that's why. And it was good, but the
It was
Disco
good.
12, man, he's just by adding those extra components in there, it's really changed
Let's
it,
open
man.
up.
Well, because the 78, 13, 9, that's that mystery mash bill, I believe. That's actually Booker's. It's a Jim Beam or whatever Booker's mash bill. But you said that the 78, 10, 12. That's a Heaven Hill mash
Looks
bill.
like Elijah Craig, yeah.
Yeah. So he added some Elijah Craig, potentially Heaven Hill into this, and then he's added a 4-grain of theirs versus just a regular 3 or a wheater.
Yeah.
But it's really rounded it out, man.
That's good.
Dang. Props to Mr. Dan Calloway. There you go. That's
Thanks,
amazing.
Dan.
Thank you, Dan. What a hell of a guy.
Dan's a man.
Dan the man.
It's good.
That's
It
good.
is very good. It's gone now. So I think we'll do the wind up here. Gentlemen, would you pass, try, or buy on this Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series number 12?
Or also rent or try at a friend's house.
Oh, rent or try it. That's a
Sounds
new
easy. It's
options
easy.
now. Rent.
We're adding
Yeah.
more options. I like it.
Rent. The guest of honor, Mr.
Oh,
Jason.
gosh. I'm going to have to think about this one for a while.
Okay.
I
We
would buy it.
There you go.
Yeah, I think for 150, I mean, again, in that price range, I mean, it's a little high. I wonder if it'll have any secondary. Probably not, is what my thought is. Maybe go as high as 2 1/4 or something. But
I would think, 200 maybe.
yeah,
max.
I mean,
But then
I
again,
think at
don't know.
150, I'm going to buy it.
Right.
When I see it, hopefully we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we see it too.
I'm surprised by this one.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing it. Whoever sent that to you.
Yeah.
Mr. John Lear.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. Kenny, do you want to go next? Or do
Yeah,
you
I'll
want
go
me to-
next, man.
Leave me with nothing to say.
No, I'm gonna be simple on that. I'm gonna buy, and on most of their stuff, when I've tried it, I did not buy it because at 140 to 150, I'm like, there's a lot of other stuff out there for 80 to 90 bucks that I like as much or better. But number one, that's also been that's been a couple years ago, and those $80, $90 bottles are now $110 to $115, right?
That's right.
You know, and this actually has gotten better. So this now is, even though it's the same price as it was 3 years ago, you know, disco, the older discos were still, this is same price as what those were, and it's gotten better. So yeah, I'm there. I'm a buy.
There you go. I'm going to complete the trifecta, as I often do. This is an easy choice to buy, even if you're a price-conscious person. So I'm even going to frame this in a different way and say, if you struck out on all of your great releases that you're going to see this fall, you know, all the Booker stuff, Maker's Cellar Age, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon, Pappy Van Winkle, did I say Van Winkle, BTAC, all that stuff. I think if you can get yourself a bottle of Disco 12, you should be very happy with that. And I'm actually going to try to buy 2 of these. I'm not just going to buy 1. I want 2 because I think that I'm really going to like drinking that. And I hope we put this in the best of 2024 because I think it'll perform very well. I mean, it's a buy all day for me.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it in.